Business conditions continue to improve markedly in the Nigerian private sector in November amid improving demand and higher customer numbers, according to the Stanbic IBTC Purchasing Manager Index. The headline PMI rose to The headline PMI rose to 54.3 in November from 53.6 in October, pointing to a solid monthly improvement in business conditions in the Nigerian private sector. The Stanbic IBTC Bank Nigeria Purchasing Managers Index measures the performance of the private sector and is derived from a survey of 400 companies from agriculture, manufacturing, services, construction, and retail. The Purchasing Managers Index is a composite index based on 5 individual indexes with the following weights: new orders 30%, output 25%, employment 20%, supplies delivery times 15%, and stocks of items purchased 10%, with the delivery times index inverted so that it moves in a comparable direction. A reading above 50 indicates an expansion of the private sector activity compared to the previous month. Below 50 represents a contraction, while 50 indicates no change. And joining us to make sense of this is Dr. Olushola Olowoyeye, an insurance and finance expert. He joins us virtually. Good to have you join us today, sir.
Good morning, Perpetua. I'm glad to be on your show this morning.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking at the PMI now as released by Stanbic IBTC. It rose to 54.3% in November, and this indicates a healthier private sector and the most pronounced improvement since April. What are your thoughts?
Okay, definitely the way things are moving, irrespective of the global perspective of how the economy is responding, the index keep consistently going up, purposely because we are getting a bit of some consolidation from the COVID and all the policies that have been put in place by various governments globally and across different regions. Things have started taking shape gradually, not in a very fast move, but to a reasonable extent, things are getting better and better.
All right. Well, the report mentioned that new order growth encouraged companies to expand their employment and purchasing activity in November. I mean, talking about all of those things, we also have that conversation on staffing also, saying that staffing levels also increased for the 22nd month running and at the fastest pace since August. Now, what exactly can we attribute this to?
Okay, just like I mentioned earlier, that this is consolidation of most of the policies, innovations, and quite a lot of effort that has been put in by different policies, both from the private sector and from government, that is attributing to this. It's taking a bit of time to reflect, but now we can start seeing the impact of most of these policies coming in now. A whole lot of organizations have now embraced technology to be able to drive their efficiency, and beyond that, almost every hands are now on deck because people are now more aware. There's a bit of more transparency about what is going on, because everybody is able to feel the impact, and that is bringing about high level of collaboration that is bringing about these changes that you can see.
All right, I totally understand your stance, but then a few months ago, the financial derivatives released a report, and in that report, it stated that the fear of dollar shortage was driving manufacturers to front-load their inventory requirements. According to that report, they said this was creating the illusion of economic growth in Nigeria. From what you're saying, it doesn't seem like you agree with this particular report. That's the one I just quoted right now.
Okay, thank you very much for making reference to that particular pronouncement from financial derivatives. I'm sure you've seen the way the trend or the way Nigerian markets have responded to the foreign exchange shock, knowing fully well that right from inception, beyond just the trading activities, you've seen this situation we are currently experiencing, where a whole lot of people are moving out on education grounds, on several grounds, and this is pushing a whole lot of pressure on the foreign currency, and with the expectation that is going to fall as low as 1,000 as exchange, but you saw the resistance that we experienced with the introduction of this CBN policy, and the reaction has been that it has been able to maintain between 700 to 750 within that time and now. And so you will see that every other sector and indicators are going to respond in the same manner. A whole lot of these fluctuations or pronouncements have been driven by the consistent move for demand for dollar artificially, which is really, really impacting almost every activity.
All right. Well, I'm also wondering, I'm curious right now. We have so many economic headwinds. How come that at this point in time we're recording an increase in the PMI? And then talking about this particular PMI, we also saw other things, talking about new orders, talking about inventories, and also saying that, companies are even employing more people. How does that sound to you? What's responsible for that? How are they able to, accept this particular shock?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure, just like I mentioned earlier, this is a consolidation period. COVID-19, leading us into a lockdown in 2020, made quite a lot of organizations to take quite a lot of decisions, which has made them reduce their number of staff, reduce their level of production. But since the economy started picking up, and we also have the Russian crisis coming up, Russia-Ukraine issue coming up, and so this has made a lot of organizations to rethink and look at a better way to be able to drive their operations and drive their business. And this has led them to be able to take a lot of decisions that is really, really bringing about positive moves on their actions now. Quite a lot of organizations who have thought of working from home remotely and also think of doing things in a way that, technology has dragged them to be able to even look at new opportunities, diversification, and this is making organizations to take informed decision, looking at the future in a more positive way than it was during the time of 2019-2020 when we experienced the heat of the lockdown. So from 2021, the hope started increasing, and here we are in 2022. We can see that the 2023, I'm sure immediately after the election, you should be seeing a much more better, indicators than what we are currently experiencing now. So what we are experiencing now is just a preparation for what, first and second.
Dr. Lushola, you may please go ahead if you can hear me. Okay, I guess that's connection issue. Well, Dr. Lushola, you're right there. He's been talking about what he feels about this report. He totally agrees with the report. And then he feels that what we are seeing is as a result of some of the shocks that were put in place as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and how that companies have recovered from COVID-19 pandemic, and some of the measures they put in place during that period are just beginning to yield or manifest results at this point in time. And I was really curious about the economic headwinds and how that these companies are also able to show that particular period, or how they're able to do well, break even, and also have these good numbers. And for him, he still insists that it's about some of the policies or some of the shocks that have been put in place either by government or these companies, saying that these are the things that are responsible for the numbers we are seeing now. If you can hear me, Doctor, I'd like you to please go on ahead.
Okay. I hope you can hear me very clearly.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, great. So just like I mentioned that this is the consolidation of most of those policies, and we've also experienced quite a lot of collaboration within different sectors and across different jurisdictions, looking for better ways to achieve objective as against trying to do it as an individual. So we've seen quite a lot of synergy going on, and this is what is responsible for most of this impact that you have seen, showing some positive trends, and it's going to become much more better as we go into 2023.
All right, let's talk about business confidence. Now, according to this particular report, it says that business confidence is actually low. So talk to us. What exactly is business confidence about? What's its impact on the economy or on businesses?
Okay, business confidence, when we take the indicator, what is generally known as business confidence is how sustainable or how well do you think whatever business you are going into, how well do you think it can last? How well is it situated with policies, with government regulations? How well is the stakeholders, how well are they able to accept what you are currently doing?
Dr. Lushola, can you hear me? All right, Dr. Lushola, we're talking about business confidence. Please go ahead if you can hear me. Dr. Lushola, if you can hear me, please go ahead. All right, I guess that's some connection issue right there. Well, he's been talking about business confidence and how that it's all about the business forecast. How is it being received and, things in that regard. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.